Hey, accelerators. How are you? Jeff Bruno, coming to you live, still from Ocean City, New Jersey. Normally, I don't have glasses on, but today I figured I would since I'm on my small screen and us in our mid to late 40s here, it can appreciate losing that near view of things as I need to read these questions. So, hope everybody's doing great. I have an announcement to make on this live, not that it matters, but whoever cares who might see this live. Your outsourced CFO is actually rebranding. We're changing our name, and our new website will be going live in a week or two. And we're going to be renaming to b.modler.com. bmodler.com. It's business modeler, and it is a ever-evolving change to our business model that we've been doing for about 2.5 years now, and we've just finally gotten to where it needs to be, and so we are launching it. We have given up on the fractional CFO stuff and any accounting type of work, even though I have a lot of experience there, and we are focused on more value accretive things for businesses around performance management, how to effectively scale your business and grow, tying your operational strategies into your financial lagging performance metrics, along with developing those newer metrics that really can not only affect and manage performance, but ultimately map to your business model value, the value your business model brings to the marketplace you're in. So we tend to work with even larger companies now, so upwards of 5 million, up to about 50, 60 million in revenue in this kind of concept. So hopefully you all will get there one day and be clients of ours. So in the meantime, that was not a pitch, I swear. That was just a true announcement of where we're going. Hope everyone can see more of that as we continue these lives. I'll add some unique pieces in there, and I'll do a little bit of that today. One of these questions is relevant on that topic. So, again, Jeff Bruno, currently your outsourced CFO, moving to bModler. Hope everybody is doing well. Let me start off with the questions today. So, first question is from Kelly Killingsworth. Kelly says, "What things would you recommend I do to help me better manage my time?" Kelco is an excavation company specializing in trenching, site prep, roadwork, aggregate hauling, and heavy equipment operations. I'm looking for the most effective way to manage my daily tasks, business, family time, personal growth time, and me time. I have a daily monthly planner, but I'm thinking there has to be a more effective way to manage my time. I feel like I should be more productive. Well, Kelly, this has nothing to do with operational metrics, performance necessarily, or financials, but it is a critical piece as you grow your business. So manage the time of the arguably key salesperson in the business, you, the CEO, probably the visionary for any future growth, most likely trying to pull all the pieces together from your key employees and giving them direction as you're small and growing. So all of those things take a lot of thought and they take a lot of time. And the key is, if you don't manage your time correctly, you will not have enough bandwidth just for the creative thought process on how to run as a CEO. Period. Full stop. If you can't get yourself out of the weeds, out of the day-to-day in some fashion, forget about managing your time. Because if you can't think right, you're not thinking smart. And if you're not thinking smart, forget about managing time. It doesn't matter. You'll never get ahead of it. So I found that out the hard way. I mean, I was working on 15 clients in my business. 15. Just 2.5 years ago. Now I have 3 as the CEO. The rest are with my team. And I'm able to focus on our growth, which is how I was able to focus on the transition to our new construct. We wouldn't be able to do it if I didn't remove that focus, if I didn't remove that time and be able to focus. So that would be my biggest advice to you. And personal is important too. Make sure you have ample time to relax. we're on Zooms, we're on lives, we're on things a lot more these days than in person. I'm back to in person a lot now, but I still have, we don't have an office, we don't have any of that. So, try to save time for your family, relax, read a book, put some breaks in so your head remains clear. And try to do nothing on the weekend. And if you're in the construction business, so I feel sorry for you in some ways. I remember chatting with you a little while ago because that can be very difficult and problems can blow up all the time. But, it's better if you're available to handle the bigger problems, and then you can try to avoid them by setting up a better process from the start. Hope that helps, Kelly. So, next question is from Rosalie. I'm going to crush this, Rosalie. Sorry. Next question from Rosalie Alaqui. Rosalie, good to hear from you again. Rosalie's question is, what are the best ways to discuss work performance concerns with team members in a way that will help them improve rather than feel frustrated? I have an accounting firm. When a team member gets stuck with a client's work, I jump on a call with them and resolve the issue almost immediately. I've seen them get frustrated and embarrassed with themselves. How can I better these conversations so we leave feeling great and positive? So, Rosalie, let me ask you this. So, do you jump on a call when you say you jump on a call with them, do you jump on a call with the client, or do you jump on a call with your person immediately to help them resolve the issue? I'm not sure what your statement was there. So, if you're jumping on the client call with them and fixing the issue, then you're taking away the empowerment, right? So then you are removing the ability of them to solve the problem on their own, maybe through some coaching from you or from the outside, and you could be embarrassing them or whatever. Now, I don't know if that's what you're doing, but if that's the case, you got to stop that. If you're doing it on the side, so like, hey, let me jump on this call with you and try to fix this problem right away, I think the way to do that, and I've struggled with that too, Rosalie, the same way. I'm actually a very analytical thinker as a CEO and an analytical guy coming from the finance space. So I always approach things like we have to get to the end. So we have to get to a solution on the problem. That's not coaching your team. That's telling your team what to do, even though you're thinking you're helping them by giving them the solution. So really what I've learned to do better is say, well, what do you think the answer is? So how did you get there? How can you get there? Did you try this? Can you think of it this way? How does that work for you? Now, it takes longer to get there, okay? Because you just want to get it done, help them. Here's the answer. Here, take this, copy this, do it again. But if then you're losing their empowerment and their ability to be creative, and maybe they would think of it a different way even. Maybe they're attacking it in a different manner or another way that could help your overall business grow. And I learned that as well. So I have really stepped back from telling my team what to do. And my operations guy, who's my COO and my partner, is excellent. He's like a super pro at doing that, and he does that with them all the time. Now he can talk too much sometimes, and he can go on forever, but he's just coaching them. He never gives them the answer per se. So I would recommend that. And if they keep getting stuck, at some point you have to say, look, here it is. But that's the way to keep them empowered. And you'll have much more engaged team members. Hopefully that's a good thought process for you. So next question is Eric Blandino. Eric asks, is it an HR problem to tell team members to eat breakfast, lunch, and take care of their personal vehicles? We are in the business of giving people their homes back from the invasion of rats. I love your comments. Over the years, I've noticed our team members usually don't eat breakfast or lunch, and their personal vehicles don't get maintained. This is because of lack of energy and forgetfulness throughout the day and missed days from not able to drive to work. They get paid over scale for industry. We operate in California. So Eric, this is definitely something that I would ask. This is more an HR question. So I would ask, I'm sorry, I'm losing her, the HR professional that works with, I'm forgetting her name. Sorry, guys. She's a good friend of mine as well. She works with your team all the time. It'll come to me. But you should ask an HR professional. So you're a small company. You can kind of say things like, hey guys, if you don't have time because you're rushing or you have some other obligations, there are some, we have some power bars here at the office before you go on your run, or swing by here and pick it up, or I'll cover, $10 of stuff every other day for you if you're running late. And put in some extra perks there for people, make them feel comfortable with the scenario. Because you're right, they probably don't have enough energy. But I don't think that you can sort of like tell them to do that, And if their personal vehicles are a mess, at some point maybe you have to get vehicles for them. I know that's a big business expense, but I'm assuming you're probably giving them an allowance for their vehicle anyway, or covering gas. If you gave them a vehicle, you could cut back on some of that allowance and, get a cheap leased vehicle that would be in better shape. So those are some avenues to think about it. Hopefully that helps you. So the last question for today is from Greg Mandile. Greg Mandile. Greg Mandile says, should I set up KPIs for my business, and why? That's key performance indicators. I'm a web design and development company. I've been introduced to KPIs, but I don't currently use them. How can they help me better organize my business, and what KPIs should I focus on? All right, Greg, you dove into our area. All right, so Greg, I'm going to tell you what's really important here. So everybody talks about KPIs. Okay, every fractional CFO, every accountant. Sometimes accountants, some of the accountants don't even talk about them because they don't know what they're doing. But some accountants. So you can look at you don't want to look at just lagging financial KPIs. So people say, you have to look at your gross margin, and you have to look at possibly your contribution margin, and you have to look at your operating margin, and then you have to look at the time, the utility of your people, and then what's your bill rate, what are you pricing, what's your multiplier in your people. Now those are all awesome metrics, and they're probably very relevant for your type of business design work. Hourly cost, hourly a markup on people, bill rate, net multiplier on your person. Can we get more revenue on a lower paid person to get them more, make them more valuable? Can you, how do you record time? How do you check on utility for these people? These are all valuable KPIs and metrics for your business, but they're all used generally in historical fashion. So the way to really do it is to really start getting into a performance mindset for your business is say, all right, lay out a project. I have a design project. It's, 200 hours. I have 200 hours. What does it take for me to complete this project, this type of design project? Well, it should take me 10 hours doing this, 15 hours doing this, 50 hours doing this, and what are the key activities? Now, these are where you would look at some of your key operational activities. What are the key activities within those buckets of work you have to do that you would want to track? Well, John has to look through 50 web pages and check out, different designs and get through it. Okay, John, tell me when you're done the 50 web pages. That's your key activity. How much time is that going to take you? 5 hours. All right, John, took you 10. What's going on here? What's the problem? You set up those key performance metrics on each project. That way, when a project goes south or you're spending too much time and your margins come down, or your utility goes way too high, meaning like they're spending extra time on this project, you can then, since that's all lagging, you can then go in to look at those performance metrics and say, well, what areas did we miss? Well, we were searching too much online for data. That took us 50 hours instead of 30. Check. That's a problem. How do we fix that? Or the client wanted 50, 30 back and forth, and we only had there 10 in our scope. Okay, so now I'm getting very minutia with you. You might have broad categories of things that are like content delivery, blah, 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 and then within that are a couple key activities. But you need to somehow quantify and metric those in your business and set up a system. You can make something up. We tell this to clients all the time. You can make it up. Your business could be different than the other John, Schmo, Sally business over here that has their own type of metrics because they're a hybrid of the design world because they do something a little different. Whatever your process is, set that up and tie it to a financial output. If we do this, we should hit 50% margin. So then you have parameters. So now margin came in 40. Okay, well, what did we do wrong in the process? Well, margin came in 60. Well, wow, what did we do right in the process? How can we feed off of that and use that? Is our team underperforming? Do we need to spend more training time with them? Is that a metric? Training time. So I know this sounds like a lot for a starting business, and smaller businesses don't typically get too heavy into all this until they've really figured out their whole process is set up. So once you really get your process set up, then you can do that. And here are the 4 categories to separate it into. I know I'm getting a little deep here, but let me give you a little of the secret sauce. Okay? We separate it into 4 categories. We separate it into get, develop, fulfill, and support. Okay? Get, first one, is sales. The sales process in your business. That is a non-billable part of your business. You're not getting any revenue for that. That's sales. Put that over here. Get. Then there's develop. That's you mostly right now, probably as a small business owner, but developing the process, developing the model. How do we scale this thing? How do we work it? What do we set up for the team to be successful and consistently iterate on that to make it to improve it? That's develop. That's the second. That's most of the time also, almost 90-95% of the time, non-billable as well, because it's internal development of your process. Sometimes a client might ask for some like extra development piece that you have to do internal to then get to the client so you can bill them, but that's a rare case. So that's indirect, non-billable. Then the third and most important for your growth is fulfill. Fulfill is all the work you do that's your billable revenue time on design or whatever that you have to set up the key processes for. So you want to pull apart that fulfill process. How much of your team's time is in fulfill versus get versus develop? Look at those processes. And then support is how much do we have to support the engagement with the client? Do we need to have a customer success manager over here touching base with the client? Does the CEO, like me, do I have to call every now and then and say, hey, is this up to your expectations? Like how much time in support of the overall offering do we have to provide to the client? You set up that structure, you set up metrics, performance in all those categories, and you set up goals accordingly, and then financial targets. And you will absolutely crush it. That's how you set up what we call in our space a performance management framework for your business to ultimately scale and grow. Got it? I know it's a lot. Call me if you need help. But we're obviously very fluent in your space. So hope this was awesome for you guys. And Greg, go get him, man. There's a lot of work out there to be had. Everybody else, good luck with your businesses. And have a wonderful day. See everyone in August. Ciao.